Hi everyone, I'm Tanaz from Forever Conscious, and this is your cosmic energy forecast for the week of September 29th. So, this week we are heading into a new month, the month of October, and you know it, I say it every time. New month brings a new vibration, a new wave of energy for us to work with. October has a few challenges, okay? So there's a little bit of a fiery, maybe confronting full moon coming up in Aries during the month. There's also a new moon at the end of October as well in the sign of Scorpio, which is a little intense. So we have some sort of, heavier energies through the month of October. But we also have a lot of opportunity for growth, a lot of opportunity for transformation, and a lot of opportunity for shifting our lives to a higher consciousness, a higher vibration. In fact, I feel like if you looked back on the entire month of 2019, you would be able to look back and say, the month of October is when something shifted. Something shifted for me during that month. Maybe it's big, maybe it's small, maybe it's just something you feel inside. Something shifted. Something will shift for the month of October. That is what I feel when I look at the cosmic patterns, when I look at what we've been through, where we're heading, where we're going, and where we are right now. I feel like something is shifting for us. And it feels powerful. And it obviously is unique and different to everyone. Maybe it resonates, maybe it doesn't. But that is what I feel when I look at what kind of alignments we have ahead for the month. So I want to go back a little bit before I get stuck into too much of what's coming up this week. I want to go back because it's important to look back to what was happening yesterday, or whenever you're watching this video, on the 28th of September, because on this day we of course had the super new moon in the sign of Libra, but we also had Saturn being very, very active at that time, and that's what I want to look at. In astrology talk, Saturn was conjunct the South Node. What this means is that Saturn was really helping us to clear a karmic cycle. I have talked about this before. When I say karmic cycle, what I mean is a pattern, attitude, belief, or behavior that maybe once served us. Now we realize it no longer does, and that awareness is what this Saturn conjunct South Node alignment was bringing to us. It was allowing us to see that this old pattern of behavior was once great for where we were, but now will not serve us where we are going. Something has to shift. Something has to change. We have to try something new. We have to do something different, because who we are now, that does not serve. That pattern, that behavior, that pattern does not serve who we are today. And that is what this Saturn alignment on this new moon, it was amplified by this new moon energy, was helping to bring into our lives. Maybe you're feeling that. Maybe you're feeling something bubbling or something brewing where you're like, hey, I've come to some awareness that I need to shift myself higher. I need to keep expanding myself higher and moving into a more elevated thought pattern and a more elevated action, because it needs to fit with the work that I have been doing and the growth I have been doing. So this is pretty powerful stuff, and this is how we lead into the month of October. We lead into the month of October with riding this cosmic wave, and it is amplified. And the biggest thing to happen all through this week, or the first week of October, which amplifies this, is Pluto stationing direct. And this happens on October 2nd or October 3rd, depending on your time zone. Pluto has been retrograde since April 24th, 2019. And as it starts moving direct, it kind of stations and locks in a particular spot in the sky. So it's been moving this way, and then it wants to move back that way. It wants to go direct again. So it's like locked in, kind of doing this U-turn. And as it does that U-turn, it's not really, but as it makes that station before it starts moving direct again, we feel the energy more powerfully, more potent. It's the most potent time of any planet, actually, when it's going retrograde or direct. So the first week of October, we are feeling these Pluto energies strong. And for clues on what this Pluto cycle has been trying to work through in your life, you can think back to what was happening in April. What was brewing around then? What themes, what events were happening for you? Because it's likely, that something will return or come back or come to a head, or more pieces of the puzzle will be revealed during this first week of October. Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth. It is the planet of change and transformation, which is also why we're feeling its energy strong, and that's also why I'm saying October is that month for shift and for transformation. It's because of this Pluto energy as well. But Pluto also rules over not just death and rebirth and transformation, but also the shadow self and power. Now you might be thinking, shadow self, power, how does that work together? Well, there's a clue there for us. When we acknowledge our shadow self, so it's the stuff that all of us bury and tuck away, the stuff that maybe is sometimes too painful to look at, so we compartmentalize it, put it away. It's the skeletons in the closet. It's the stone that we don't want to turn over because we're terrified what might be under it. That is our shadow stuff. And Pluto says, if you turn over that rock, it might be terrifying, but I promise you will find a new sense of power, a new sense of personal strength. And that is why Pluto rules over power and shadow stuff, because there's a power in confronting that deeper, darker stuff that we sometimes don't want to look at. Now, we don't need to force ourselves into anything. Whatever confronting shadow self Pluto wants us to look at, it's going to be bringing to our attention this week. We're not going to have to dig. We're not going to have to dive too deep. It's coming up to the surface. That's just the energy. And I guess I could tell you, don't be afraid. But you're going to feel what you feel. The key here is to accept what arises, to accept that all of us in a way are in the same boat. All of us have a deep shadow self. We have the self that we present to the world, and then we have our inner self. Shadow stuff is also the stuff that's subconscious, the stuff that we're not always aware of. And sometimes Pluto can help us to become aware of that subconscious stuff. And there's a change and a transformation that comes through that awareness. And then we reach a new level of personal power. So this is big energy. This energy is kind of asking us to, accept and acknowledge that stuff we haven't wanted to look at. So maybe think about what was going on in April. Is there something you didn't want to acknowledge, something you didn't want to look at? What was going on for you there? And then now it's kind of coming up into the surface, and there is a power in that too. There's a power in having this thing become conscious, become something that we can look at and say, okay, here it is. And you know what? 100% of the time, it's not as scary. It's not as scary. It's more fearful when it's at the bottom of the ocean and our imagination is like, we don't know what that is. When it rises up and it opens up and it comes for us, it comes before us, we can see it for what it is and acknowledge it for what it is, accept it for what it is, and then hopefully move through and transcend it. So yes, it's big energy this week. It's big energy through a lot of October, but also so much room for growth. So I would tell you that to help you ride these cosmic energies this week is to We all need to have a spiritual self-care daily practice, all of us. You cannot expect to, stay in balance without making the time to stay in balance and to get grounded and to look after yourself. You have to make the time for it every day, whether it's meditating, doing a ritual, and I have both of those things for you. I have a cosmic guided meditation. I'll put a link below this video. You can do it a couple of times a week, all through the month of October. It will help you. It will help keep you grounded and in the flow of these energies. I also have a new moon ritual that was for the new moon on the 28th, the Libra moon that I was talking about earlier. Ritual is just active prayer. It's a way to put action to, our spiritual practice. So it's a great ritual to help you also kind of release and let go. I will put that below this video as well, a link for you there. There are two resources, great resources that you can use to help you navigate through this energy. But I also want to give you a mantra that I have written for this week. So if you can, where you are, I would love for you to place your hand over your heart, maybe close your eyes if you can, and just feel into these words. I accept the time and place of all things. I accept the flow and rhythm of my life. I accept myself and who I am becoming. I accept. I accept. So I will leave you with that mantra. I hope you find it helpful. I hope you enjoy the energies of this week and remember that they are an opportunity for growth, for transformation, and for shift. Yes, they are a little heavy, but they are powerful and they are helping you to tune into your inner power and your inner strength. As always, I have lots more information for you at foreverconscious.com. I am Tanaz. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Thank you so much.